I wanted to go into depth a little more on some of the concepts that Graves discusses in chapter 6 and just explain some things that may not be as clear from the reading. So the first thing, as Graves says, and that I wholeheartedly believe, is that the ultimate goal of reading is to create meaning, and while phonics is important, the central goal should always be what is the meaning of the text. That being said, I really feel like everyone in this class needs to know the importance of phonics, and I think educators often shy away from phonics because it is scripted most of the time, the curriculum, but I want you to embrace it, because once you see a kid who didn't have phonics and was struggling and was able to be successful after having phonics, I really feel like you will see the benefit of phonics. And I feel like it can be very intimidating to teach phonics because, for example, I didn't grow up knowing phonics at all. When I was in grad school, I took a phonics course, and I had a book where I had to do a phonics pre-assessment before I took read through the book, and I failed it miserably. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what a schwa was, a long vowel, a short vowel. I never learned phonics. So I did learn how to read when I was growing up. I had a hard time learning how to read, but I learned whole language, I guess. So that being said, I feel like it is easier for most kids to have phonics. They need direct instruction in phonics. So as teachers, especially elementary teachers all the way up through 5th grade, we should have an understanding of phonics. And actually for upper grades, it's really good for teachers to have that knowledge so they can really help students when they see that phonics or decoding is their issue. And I think a lot of teachers say, oh, that's for, K3 or K2, and don't want to have anything to do with it, but I feel like it will really enrich your teaching if you have some background knowledge about it. So again, most kids do need direct instruction in phonics. There's like 30%, I've heard a statistic before, of kids that that do whole word learning, and the rest of the population needs phonics. But I just want to encourage you too that it is mostly scripted, and kids need consistent phonics routines to be successful. Don't feel like it will stifle your creativity. There are many other ways that you can be creative in the classroom, and the main goal is to support students' learning in the most effective way possible. So, okay, that being said, my little rah-rah for phonics. I just want to talk a little bit about the structure of words, because I feel like some of these concepts may be new to you, and just want to talk about them. So the first thing, syllables. You guys know what syllables are, and that's part of structures of words, which kids need to know about. The second thing, onset and rhyme. Rhyme as in R-I-M-E, not rhyme when words rhyme. The onset are the initial consonants in a word. So for example, in a blend, in the word blend, BL would be the onset. It's usually the initial consonant or consonants in a word. The rhyme is the second part of the word, where the vowel is, and the remainder of the consonants. And so most words do have an onset and a rhyme. And when kids are learning words, it's good to encourage them to think about the onset and the rhyme. Also phonograms, that is another term that you should know, and it will probably come up on K5 for the RECA, as will onset and rhyme. And a phonogram is just a word family, so phonograms would be Dan, man, fan. So those are different types of phonograms. Word family words is what we usually refer to them in the classroom as. Phonemes are another thing that you'll need to know for the RECA, for those of you in K5. And a phoneme is the smallest unit of sound. And we have 44 phonemes, as Graves said, and we have 26 letters in our alphabet, but 44 individual units of sound. So that would also be including like the sh and the w and the ch, which are in addition to the 26 letters of the alphabet. And then morphemes are the smallest units of meaning. And so in the book, Graves gives the example of dog would be a morpheme. And then when you add S to that, this would also be another morpheme because it's changing the meaning of the word. Okay, so those are two different morphemes in one word. And finally, affixes. I'm sure you guys know about affixes, but prefixes and suffixes and root words are all really important to the structure of words. And I can't say enough for word study as you get into the middle grades and the high school grades how important it is to focus on affixes. And even if you're in history or in science, I feel like that is a perfect opportunity to focus on affixes because they come up all the time. In history they come up when talking about, pre and post, and for science, bio, there's so many opportunities to talk about prefixes and affixes with kids because so much of our language is based, science and history language is based on Latin words. So yeah, I encourage you not only to think about this chapter as early elementary, but see what are ways that you can incorporate the structure of words into everything you do. Because when the kids get inundated with it, they gain curiosity and a grander understanding of words and the word structure. So I encourage whatever class you teach in to try to hit on it, even if it's a quick side note. And the other thing I wanted to encourage you is for word walls. It's really important to have word walls in your classroom, but also use them as an interactive part of your classroom. And especially for elementary, but then upper grades too, you can do different kinds of word walls for vocabulary words or sight words or parts of speech words. And there's all sorts of ways you can use them in your classroom, but I encourage you to have a word wall up. No matter your subject. All right, and I think that's it. Have a great week. Bye.